not necessarily. These kind of things are pretty fluid. They happen, pretty quickly. At the moment, I think you can see, but just doing the maths, we've got, too many players in terms of, when we submit our final list. So there'll be guys here who won't be on that list if nothing changes. So I'm pretty sure that'll change, and so from now till sort of the end of the window, I'm sure there'll be some movement. I don't think he was frustrated with his performance. I think he was maybe a little bit disappointed that a couple of things didn't fall his way, but I wasn't. I thought his performance was very good on the day. He actually played an important part in the way we sort of set up, and it was a real focal point for us. So, I guess with all these things, it's like anything else. People look at outcomes, and with strikers, it's just about goals and nothing else. And I'm sure Richie wants to score goals, but far more important for me is how he's contributing to our team setup. And I thought he was good last week, and from my perspective, that's the key thing. I'm sure the goals will come, but no point getting the goals if the team's not performing. Look, I think it's fair to say that, and again, I don't come in with any sort of knowledge or perspective on last year, but I can only work on sort of what's in front of me, and players have certainly been really receptive on what we're trying to do. The staff have been really good, the existing staff, the new staff, again, embracing kind of how we're going to work. And the games we've had so far, the support's been really positive about what we're doing. So that's all I've got to measure. But as you said, we're 2 games in, so I'm not reading too much into anything at the moment. It's more about, like I said, for me, it's about trying to establish some principles, some foundations for the team we want to be. And it always helps when there's positive outcomes early in this phase, because hopefully that just, accelerates belief more than anything else. But, doesn't change the fact that we're still very much at the embryonic stage of any kind of, building of a new team or new way of playing. No, I think, the kind of way I set up my teams always have is it's never kind of a like-for-like replacement in anything we do, because I just think you're kind of fixed into one way of playing, and I think every player, brings, their own qualities to an existing structure. It makes you, less predictable. So, if Matters wasn't to play, then we've got guys like in the midfield, Pierre and Gio and Skippy, who can fill that role their own way, and I don't think it would affect us as a team. Hopefully, again, just with the disclaimer that we're still very early in this phase of building a team, but ideally that's what you want going forward, that if somebody misses out, doesn't mean we need a like-for-like replacement. It's the same with the wingers, same with the defenders, the strikers. I like players who bring something different, because it allows you to have flexibility within a fairly defined structure. Again, I'd be reticent to read stuff that's kind of all-encompassing after 1 or 2 games about anybody, whether that's Pedro or us as a team. He performed well last week. He's performed well through his pre-season. I really like him as a player. I think as a fullback, he's got some really good attributes for the way we want to play. He's very mobile. He's good technically. He covers the ground well, and his instincts are pretty good, both with and without the ball. But he's 23, so we've got a pretty young, apart from Romero, young sort of back 4 at the moment. And even Emerson's in a similar boat. I think they'll develop as we go along. But both of them, all our fullbacks at the moment have found a real willingness to be open-minded, because it's fair to say the demands of our system on fullbacks is a bit different to others. So you need players who are kind of open-minded enough to want to take that information in. And I think all the boys playing those positions at the moment are really keen to keep exploring kind of the way we play.